Senior officials of the regime, including the IRGC, who are inadmissible under this policy, will be removed from Canada. Our message to the Iranian regime and to its henchmen is unambiguous. Canada will not be a playground for bad actors, and you are not welcome in our country.
The honourable member for Lakeland.
Mr. Speaker, Canadians can't afford this costly coalition. The more the NDP Liberals spend, the more expensive everything gets. Gas and diesel is over $3 a litre. Families have to find over $2,000 more for groceries this year. Home heating will double this winter. And food bank users, 1/3 are Canadians with jobs who can't afford to eat. When will the Liberals give Canadians a break and cancel their plan to triple their tax hikes on gas, groceries, and home heating?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Environment.
Speaker, and as the Parliamentary Budget Officer has pointed out, 8 out of 10 families are better off after they've received the climate action rebate. And the other thing the Parliamentary Budget Officer points out, Mr. Speaker, is that there are costs to climate change. A $20 billion impact to our GDP each and every year. From my home province of Manitoba, Mr. Speaker, we've had two 1 in 300-year floods costing $1 billion each. The Calgary flood, Mr. Speaker, $5 billion. 7,000 people were displaced from their homes, Mr. Speaker. Climate change has a cost. The Conservatives have no plan.
For Lakeland.
So it's clear from that answer that even though the Liberals have actually created this cost of living crisis, they're just going to make it even worse. The Finance Minister actually said that Canadians should cut Disney Plus to make ends meet. She bragged that she lives in downtown Toronto and doesn't have to drive anywhere, even while she's chauffeured around in limos and private jets at taxpayers' expense. She scoffs while my neighbours have to drive to get around and have to choose between eating or heating their homes and barns and shops this week at -28. The Liberals are out of touch and Canadians are out of money. Why won't they axe their cruel carbon tax?
The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I want to tell you what is cruel. What is cruel is saying to Canadians who are genuinely anxious about inflation. What is cruel is saying to those Canadians, you know what? I have a magic idea that will let you opt out of that inflation. Saying to them, you know what? I think you should buy crypto. And that is what the current leader of the Conservative Party said to Canadians. If Canadians had listened to him, a $10,000 investment would have shrunk by 65%. That is cruelty, Mr. Speaker.
Before proceeding to the next question to the member for Foothills, I just want to remind some of the gentlemen in the audience who have these deep, strong voices that carry. And although they sound very nice, they are very disruptive when someone is trying to answer or even ask a question. Just a reminder, the honourable member for Foothills.
Food inflation is at a 40-year high. Canadians are struggling to feed their families. The Liberals' response? Let them eat cake. You can't afford food? Cancel your Disney subscription. I can't even buy a pack of bacon for $13. When fruit and vegetable prices are up 12%, bread 13%, and pasta 30%, the Liberals are out of touch. And it's only going to get worse. You think these prices are tough to swallow? Thanks to the Liberals' escalator, the tax on beer, wine, and spirits is going to triple. Will the Prime Minister give a sober second thought to his new taxes on food?
The Honourable Minister for Families.
Mr. Speaker, it's hard to stomach what the Conservatives are saying, because at every opportunity that they could have supported Canadians in need, they voted against it, Mr. Speaker. Our record on this side is almost 2 million Canadians, including 450,000 children, have been lifted out of poverty over the last 7 years. We have supported Canadians with the Canada Child Benefit, with the Canada Housing Benefit, with the Canada Dental Benefit, with the GST rebate that has been doubled for the next 6 months. response, Mr. Speaker. We continue to support Canadians. We just wish Conservatives would do the same. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, member for Foothills.
So let me get this straight. While 1.5 million Canadians go to a food bank in 1 month, the Liberals' answer to that is triple the carbon tax on food production. We have farmers from across Canada in Ottawa this week begging the Liberals for some sort of sanity and to drop this tax. Thanks to the opposition, the Canadian farmers will get some relief from the carbon tax on natural gas and propane, and they need it. Diesel's at $3 a litre, and input costs are crippling. Liberal taxes are killing farms and forcing families to the food bank. Will the Prime Minister listen to farmers? Will he cancel his plan to triple the tax on food, fuel, and farms?
The Honourable Minister for Immigration.
Mr. Speaker, I have the privilege of visiting farms in my own constituency as a member who represents rural Nova Scotia, and I can tell you the farmers in my own community right now are telling me how expensive it is to deal with inaction on climate change, how expensive it is when severe weather events take down silos, how expensive it is when they lose more than 6 figures worth of crops.
Oh, really? Set them free, Sean. Just let me know when you're ready. The Honourable Minister from the top by special request.
Mr. Speaker, it seems I may have struck a nerve. The reality is I have the privilege of representing dozens of dairy farms. Over the last number of weeks when I've been visiting those farms, what they are telling me in rural Nova Scotia is that the inaction that they see coming from the Conservative Party on climate issues is leading to costs that are unimaginable. And as the Conservatives continue to chide me because they can't handle difficult truths, they don't understand that these farmers are dealing with 6-figure losses that they needed to buy out of pocket to help feed their cattle. They're dealing with damage to their infrastructure. They want us to take climate change seriously, and they need to stop trying to trick Canadians because they know that the policy they've campaigned...
The Honourable Member